Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. We have breaking news. The Pistons have just signed Monty Williams to the biggest contract in NBA history. We've got our coach. Last episode, I just talked about how we were off to a disappointing start, and this changes everything. Monty Williams has agreed in principle to a contract that's 6 years for $78.5 million, over $12 million a year, and like I said, the biggest one in NBA history. The team also has an option for years 7 and 8 that would make it up to $100 million. So now I'm not sure exactly what the details are because there's some team. The last 2 years are a team option, but there's incentives. So I'm not sure that it means he gets paid more if we win the conference championship or the NBA championship. I'm sure there's some incentives like that tied in that they'll make him, but I'm sure he's going to still be the highest paid coach. So this is a big, we've been, flabbergasted by all the silence and, not knowing what's going on. And they're interviewing these guys for the third time, Kevin Ollie and Charles Lee, and they didn't give up. Monty Williams said no. They offered him a big contract. I don't know how much it was the first time. First, they hoped they would get him because they thought that before the lottery, if they got the number one pick, that he would come no matter what. And then they still, after that, they got the fifth pick. They offered him a big amount of money. They said, and they didn't give up though. We had silence, and we kept, why aren't they just hiring one of those other two guys? Well, I'll say this much though: this is huge, and he needs to be the right guy. I was concerned, I've heard some people talk about Kevin Ollie, and that's Troy's guy, and if it doesn't work out, it's on Troy, and they will just fire him. Well, guess what? We don't want to waste 2 years with the wrong coach, and there's no guarantee Monty Williams is going to be the greatest coach ever. But I can tell you this much: he's 51, not too old. In 2019, 2020, he took over the Suns, and that year they won 34. They were 34-29. Kind of what I hope the Pistons are going to do this year, this upcoming year. That's the kind of record in the ballpark of where I am projecting that they get. So then the next year they jumped up to 51-21. The Suns did, and then the next year the best record in the NBA, they were 64-18, and then this past year they were only 45-37. And they've had some big disappointments. They lost in the finals to the Bucks, and they lost in the conference finals, I think, last year, and they got annihilated in Game 7 on their home court. And so I think that was a big factor. And then this year they got out. They lost in a disappointing manner in the playoffs also. So anyway, it's exciting. We got a new coach. He seems to be just a great person. He seems to have a great demeanor. He seems like he talks good with coaches. He helped develop. They had a lot of young players. Devin Booker was still pretty young when he took over there. And then obviously Mikal Bridges really, improved under him, and Cam Johnson. So now there's Pistons fans already getting so excited that, because Cam Johnson's a restricted free agent, that we'll go after him and that he will want to come to Detroit because of Monty. Now, we don't know that for sure. We don't know that him and Monty had a great relationship and stuff, but there's still, that is hope. And same, Mikal Bridges is signed for quite a while, and he has a really good team-friendly contract. So I'm not sure that, he might be signed for 3 or 4 more years at least. So no, signs of him coming soon. But, even by the end, Monty's here for such a long time that, by the time Devin Booker, I don't know if his contract's good for 4 more years, but he's a Michigan kid. And so not probably going to happen, but I do think that we are going to get better fast. I think he's a good hire. I love the fact that our owner, Tom Gores, opened the purse strings, man, and gave him the bag. That's a huge amount of money. And I know that people are excited. There's a lot been made about his offense. It's called the half-second or 0.5-second offense because it's kind of really the basic rule is that you catch the ball, you have a half a second to decide whether you're going to pass, shoot, or drive. that nobody's going to hold the ball. Detroit was the worst, one of the worst teams in holding the ball, dribbling the ball, not moving the ball. They were bad on offense. They were bad at moving the ball around. And ball movement, I can tell you as a coach, moving the ball from side to side, that's how you create good offense. And if Monty Williams can get our Pistons to do that, and we have some talented players, that is going to be a great thing. And so it's a great day for the Pistons. We have a great coach, and who knows what's going to happen. It's just there's no guarantees. And the other thing that is coaches get hired to get fired. That's kind of a saying in the coaching business that there's no reason to think that after a certain number of years, they just wear out their welcome, or the players get tired of hearing the same voice year after year. I mean, you see it. Look at how successful Mike Budenholzer was in Milwaukee. They still had one of the best records in the league this past year, if not the best record. I think they had the best record in the NBA, and they have quite a few years. But yet he gets fired. And they had injuries in the playoffs, but yeah, he gets fired. So sometimes, and it is true that sometimes you just need to hear a different voice. But anyway, enough negativity. This is all about positive. There's some people think that said the Suns were one of the top 10 defensive teams when Monty was there. So that's an encouraging fact that we need to, that could make a difference with our team. And it'd be interesting to see what staff he hires. I'm excited to hear about that. But, he really did. I mean, all reports were he wanted to take a year off. And he was guaranteed $7 million a year. So now I don't know how much. I don't know if the Suns have to pay him anything. Certainly they're not going to pay him close to the $7 million that they owed him. So I'm sure they're happy. Matt Ishbia played at Michigan State. He was their owner that fired Monty. But, that by hiring him, that's going to make them have some more money. So anyway, I just wanted to say one more thing about my guy, Cam Whitmore. I'm still excited about the draft. So this was positive news. Now we got to wait a few more weeks to see what happens to the draft. But I still am holding out hope that we get Cam Whitmore. But here's just something interesting. So when he was at when they were talking to him, somebody was interviewing him, and they asked him about the Pistons. And he said, the Pistons have some athletic guys. They have my boy Jalen Duren. So I think he probably knows Jalen, probably played some AAU or some type of, 18 and under team. So then he said, Cade, Jaden Ivey, just athletic guys who can get the job done. You got Stu over there, a big dude that's got a big body that can get the job done, offensively and defensively. So anyway, Cam is very well aware of all the players on our roster. And not that matters a lot, but it's still a positive thing. So anyway, we'll probably have another podcast soon breaking down some things when we have the reactions. I've already heard that Cade and Ivy are really excited about this. Like I said, I think he's a coach that players really want to play for. So I think that could, attract free agents and things, and I think our team is going to get better. But I think still Piston fans, you just got to. I think it's going to be the similar progression to what the Suns had, where we win maybe 34, maybe 32, and then depends on who we get in the draft, depends on if we sign free agents, it's what trades we make, how everything fits together. But everything's not going to fit together instantly. But then it's the next year that we make the big jump and we make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, great news for Piston fans. Do something nice for somebody today, and go Pistons.